What up with it, y'all? It's Coffee on the vid, and Wack100 takes us back down memory lane right here, as there's been a lot of talk about Wack's time on the yard, the prison yard, right? That he always says he made the law books, the history books by, what was it, being the first like individual to go from the YO camp straight over to prison or whatever. And then we found out on the infamous vladtv clip, he shot someone with a clip of BB guns. That's crazy, man. But people always getting at him about his time behind the wall, if it's real official or not, what kind of yard he was on or whatever, you know what I mean? All those West Coast Cali cast that did time behind the wall. I mean, everyone, let me know your thoughts, but especially those that been down before and did those bids. What do you think about Wack's prison stories? I got a bro who actually got to release some content, man. There's something that he said very pertinent to 1090 Jake story. And again, shout out 1090 Jake. I'm no issues. I'm not out to like shit on his platform or anything. There's just a storyline that he's entrenched with another content creator. And my one bro that's hoping to come home soon. He's been down for a couple decades. He had a take about 1090 Jake a couple years back that was like damn near what this other YouTuber was saying in some of his content nowadays. But getting back to what Wack's saying, he says, this was Central Juvenile Hall. I was 16 when they picked me up from and took me to Delano State Prison. The G Homie Dre Line, West Side Pyru, 134th Street, was a free staff that used to give me game about the joint. I was a kid but grown. It was hard being a damu in those days, outnumbered, but homies was solid warriors who only moved forward. And tap in everyone out there, not even talking about prison. Everyone's always like, yo, back in the day, the 90s, before like Crips, outnumbered Bloods, like what was the ratio, y'all? I heard it was crazy. You know what I'm saying? I heard walking around flamed up was like detrimental to one's health, that you were going to run into an issue all the time, that's just what it was. It was hard being a damu in those days, outnumbers, but homies was solid warriors who only moved forward. I did my work, put my time in. Before this, I did 2 years in CYA. Fred C. Nellis in 2 camp programs. Salute Montus, DLB, and hit every juvie hall on top of SRCC. Valley Rider under P-Funk. No cut. Again, I did mine all the way and made it out. Sad to say I can't put this anywhere on an application. No regrets though. But to the kids, I hope you never have these memories. OBG Unit, MS Central, Juvenile Hall. What's this dude? Curve Boy Ant says, no way you 16 in this big, dude. So he's saying Wack's capping about the story. What's this dude say? BB Gun Jones on the loose, as I was saying in another video, man. That Vlad interview came out where Wack's always been talking about how his case went down in the history books, the law books, case law, like that. He was the first to get transferred over like that. You know what I mean? They changed the game for Wack, and then we found out it was BB gun. He emptied the whole clip. Did he say 30 shots? I don't even know, man. 30 shots rung out for my BB gun. Wack says, my first offense, I was 12. It was in my hand, pellet actually, CO2. Most kids would have ran. I did what I had to do to protect my mother, and that I did. She wasn't harmed. Other hand, the man had to have surgery and get things dug out his face. So I don't know if I ever heard Wack elaborate on that side of the story that he was protecting my Dukes, and dude had to get the crazy thing, you would think Wack got hit with the pellets. I'm just saying, right? He's talking about surgery, is dug out their face, like come on, like right? That line just writes itself. This dude says, damn, homie, sad to see how far you've fallen to who you are today. Once a solid young soldier to a Wendy Williams gossip king, dry snitching buster. Damn. Cats be coming for Wack in the comments, man. But Wack loves this controversy. You know what I'm saying? Again, I always say it. From the second Stitches birthed him into this blogosphere shit. I seen an old comment on that video I did before. Someone was like, wait, Stitches put Wack on? Not like that. When Stitches was pressing the game, and the game was looking type shook, like, let's keep it a buck, y'all. Comment, everyone. Didn't the game look like he was like frozen? Wack just came out of nowhere, blindsided the shit out of Stitches, and then got tasered. And then they became cool, which was crazy. But at one point in time, where was even Wack100, or I'm sorry, Stitches under Wack100 management. And they still manage a good rapport today. R.I.P. DJ K Slay. How you think Stitches ended up on that interview? And Slay was telling him, man, I could have said, fuck it. You know what I mean? Because you be on that bullshit. But at that time, Stitches was pushing that he was sober, which now he's saying he really is sober. But there was that crazy footage out, man, where he was all coked up and shot up his own building or restaurant and tried to front like there were some robbers. But he says he's off the Suboxone, off everything, man. And I hope it's true. Good for him. He's out here on this viral play right now. You know what I'm saying? Like catching people going in the liquor store. Like, yo, I give you 100 to not go in the liquor store. But my thing is, a lot of motherfuckers would be like, oh, yeah, word, you're right, sobriety. And then go take that 100 and go somewhere else and be like, man, now I ain't just going to the liquor store. I'm going to go hit the spot as well. You know what I'm saying? But in that sense, he birthed Wack, because that's all Wack ever really wanted, was this real, like, viral moment where he could just, like, go over the top with it, with the interviews, with the ish talk, and with the, extra out antics. And then he had Stitch's own homies do him dirty. That was nasty work, as Wack would say. This dude says, Wack was swole. Don't see 16-year-olds like that anymore. We had to build up to be built for any squabble activities coming our way. If you wasn't built, you'd eventually have to, because there were dudes like this walking around on a regular. So dudes saying back in the day, is that true too? Like, no more weight checks, no more, huh? That like it was gladiator school, that if you weren't built like that, you were a target, you know what I mean? And you had to, program and just be ready for war. And if you weren't, you know what I mean, cats was gonna get at you. What happened to OG now? You shaped like a meatball. 35 years ago, knock it off. Change and growth, props to you. This dude loved reminiscing about jail. We'll finish these last comments and then we'll close it out. Comment your thoughts about all this. And, there's been a lot of debate and discussions about Wack100 in this case and all that. And I said BB gun. He said pellet guns, CO2. You know what I mean? He saved my Duke's life. And dude had to have the surgery that many think Wack had, which is a trip. Show some pics of you in your hood. Stop the violence. Now you turned police. Brazy work. Dude should have been playing football. You look like Bo Jackson. Talk shit about Pac, but slap his music. This speaks volumes. You do that shit for clickbait. Smile for me now. So, Wack, as dude is calling him out about the Pac shit, we know, man. When the All Eyes on Me movie was out, that was like the next thing after the Stitches situation. He was trolling, saying all this foul shit about Pac and Afeni Shakur, just like he did with Nipsey Hussle. But then he always tried to throw that tagline out: the truth can never be disrespect, where really he's just playing semantics and trying to manipulate what he's calling the truth, and then saying, well, then it can't be disrespectful. Listen, anything can be disrespect, especially if someone's from the streets, especially if someone was bitten from the time they were a youth. They already know, man. You reach over someone's tray, you look at someone the wrong way, it could go up, it could go left. Things can get complicated and tricky. You know what I mean? So all this semantics talking greasy and then cementing it up, trying to clean it up and manipulate people, like it just don't really work. But there you have it, man. Wack100 taking a trip down memory lane. Jump in the comments with your thoughts about it all. Subscribe to the channel and stay tuned for more. It's coffee, and I'm up out of this thing, y'all. Peace.